Marissa finally found a moment of peace, relishing the stillness in her hectic life. Alone in the quiet kitchen, she sipped her tea, the dishwasher humming softly beside her. The apartment was tranquil, a haven of peace, until the doorbell's jarring buzz broke the stillness. Her brow furrowed as she placed her mug down, the soft clink echoing her frustration. She was caught off guard. She peered through the peephole and saw her younger sister Natalie, standing there with a bright yet strained smile. Marissa paused, her hand trembling on the doorknob. Natalie's unannounced visits were common, but tonight, her presence was particularly unsettling. Natalie's eyes flicked nervously in the hallway, her smile hollow, and Marissa felt a knot form in her stomach. She opened the door, and the cool evening air swept in. "Natalie," she said, her voice a blend of warmth and caution. "This is unexpected." Natalie entered, her energy electric. "I need a break," she said, hurrying past Marissa with her suitcase. "Is it okay if I stay here for a few days?" Marissa smiled, but her anxiety deepened. "You're always welcome here." Natalie's arrival shattered the stillness, a whirlwind of energy in the apartment. 5 years younger than Marissa, her confidence and charisma made her seem like the older sister. Natalie's presence was always powerful, and Marissa sensed this visit would be no exception. The shower's steady hum filled the apartment, amplifying the tension in the air. Liam, Marissa's 19-year-old stepson, was back. Natalie's eyes darted to the sound, curiosity ignited. "Is someone here?" she asked, her tone playful yet shadowed by an unnameable weight, leaving Marissa unsettled. "Liam," Marissa responded swiftly, her voice calm even as unease crept up her neck. "He's been here since you know." Natalie nodded, her eyes fixed on the bathroom. "How is he holding up?" she asked, casual tone masking piercing eyes. Marissa paused, torn about what to reveal. "He's finding his way," she said at last, weighing her words. "This has been tough for us both. Since her husband Mark left 2 years ago, Marissa has fought to keep her blended family intact. It was a struggle." Liam, Mark's son from a past relationship, moved in after the breakup, and their connection was tense from the beginning. Marissa found it hard to reach him. Their exchanges were heavy, with unvoiced bitterness. She felt like a stranger in her own home, a reality she never expected when she married Mark. Liam's silent rebellion and her insecurities as a stepmother forged a deep divide that felt unbridgeable. He showed kindness, yet far away. His teenage detachment intensified by the chaos surrounding them. Marissa reached out, seeking connection, but each step only deepened the divide. Natalie glided into the living room, her presence effortless, as if it were her rightful place. "This place feels the same," she said, tracing her finger along the coffee table's edge. Marissa trailed behind, anxiety tightening in her chest. "Yeah, I haven't had time to redecorate." Natalie's laughter rang out, sweet and airy, yet it failed to soothe Marissa's unease. She settled on the couch, legs crossed, a playful spark in her eyes as she gazed at Marissa. "What's happening in your world?" Marissa sighed and took a seat opposite her. "Work's been hectic, as you can imagine." The shower stopped, cutting through the conversation. Marissa's eyes darted to the hallway, her nerves on edge. The idea of Liam and Natalie together filled her with unease. "Liam's here," Natalie said, her tone light, but her eyes pierced through. "Is that really working for you?" Marissa shrugged, tension coiling in her shoulders. "It's complicated," she finally admitted. Natalie nodded, deep in thought. "I bet," she whispered. Natalie was impulsive, always leaping before she looked. Once Marissa closed her door, Natalie stepped into the shower. She took a towel from the closet and headed to the bathroom, humming gently. She pushed the door open, barely hesitating. The scene before her froze her in place. Liam stood at the sink, towel hanging low around his hips. He froze, eyes wide with shock at the sight of Natalie in the mirror. In that instant they stood still. Natalie's breath hitched as her eyes swept over him, stunned by the unexpected sight. Liam's cheeks burned as he turned away, nervously clutching his towel. "I'm sorry." Liam stumbled over his words, shame flooding his voice. I never expected anyone to walk through that door. Natalie's shock transformed into a spark of amusement, or maybe something more playful. She stood in the doorway, a sly smile playing on her lips. "This is awkward," she teased. Liam eyed her cautiously, his body rigid. "I'll just go," he whispered, grabbing his clothes. Natalie moved in, each step measured and intentional. "Take your time," she said softly. "There's no reason for shame." Liam's eyes grew wide, his unease unmistakable. "Natalie, She interrupted him with a gentle laugh, her hand grazing his arm, a touch that felt both soothing and unsettling. "Relax, Liam," she urged, her voice airy, yet her eyes burned with focus. "It's only a bit of playful teasing." Her eyes dropped, a smile spreading as she saw his response. She whispered, her fingers gliding over a subtle line on his chest. "Someone seems a bit anxious." Liam gasped, his body tensing at her touch. "Natalie, please." She silenced him softly, her fingers brushing the edge of his towel. "It's okay," she whispered, her voice gentle yet resolute. "Only we remain." Liam stood still, torn between embarrassment and a rush of emotions that quickened his heartbeat and clouded his mind. Before he could respond, Natalie stepped back, a playful smile on her lips. "Text, I'll let you finish," she said, her tone casual, as if nothing had occurred. She walked out, leaving Liam alone, his thoughts spiraling. The next morning, the apartment was eerily quiet, a silence thick with unspoken tension. Marissa held her coffee mug, eyes darting between Natalie and Liam at the breakfast table. Natalie hummed softly, buttering her toast with ease. Liam, however, stared at his cereal, tension radiating from his shoulders. Marissa attempted to shatter the stillness. "What are your plans for today?" Natalie shrugged, her voice indifferent. "Not much, just thinking of exploring the neighborhood. It's been a while since I was last here." Liam whispered something unclear, his spoon clattering against the bowl. Marissa frowned, feeling the tension but not knowing why. "Liam, are you all right?" she inquired. He nodded, eyes averted. "I'm just exhausted." Marissa sighed, choosing silence instead. With determination, she snatched her bag and rushed to the door. "All right, I'm heading to work." "You two be good," she said, her voice cheerful, but her gaze held on Natalie. Natalie's smile was pure, radiating innocence. "We'll be okay, Marissa. Trust us." As the door clicked shut behind Marissa, the air in the apartment changed completely. Liam collapsed onto the couch, mindlessly scrolling through TV channels. Natalie, in contrast, radiated life. She glided through the house in a summer dress, each movement purposeful and graceful. She picked up stray magazines, adjusted cushions, and straightened picture frames, while Liam struggled to look away. Natalie paused in front of the TV, blocking Liam's view. She tilted her head, a teasing smile playing on her lips. "You've been so quiet today," she remarked, her tone airy, yet her gaze piercing. Liam shrugged, eyes glued to the TV. "There's really nothing more to add." Natalie leaned in, her face just inches from his. "Is that really everything?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "You appear somewhat strained." Liam clenched his jaw, shifting uneasily. "I'm okay." Natalie chuckled gently, sitting up straight. "Relax, Liam," she whispered, gliding by. Her hand rested on his shoulder, a heartbeat stretched in silence. "Just a little tease." Liam breathed out, his heart pounding as Natalie stepped back. She moved through her tasks, each action slow and intentional, like a performance unfolding. She glanced at him, her smile brightening when their eyes met. Their tension escalated as the day wore on, silent yet unmistakable. Marissa walked in to find Natalie chopping vegetables in the kitchen, while Liam sat at the table, absorbed in his phone. "How was your day today?" Marissa inquired, placing her bag down. Natalie looked back, her smile radiant. "It was okay, just spent the day here." Liam mumbled a vague reply, his gaze fixed on his phone. Marissa frowned, feeling the tension but unsure of its cause. They gathered for dinner, but the air was thick with tension and silence. Marissa attempted small talk, But Natalie's replies were distant, and Liam hardly uttered a word. Natalie's fingers brushed against Liam's thigh, a gentle yet purposeful caress. He tensed, the fork clattering against the plate as he fought to hold it together. Marissa shot him a worried look, her brow knitting together. "Is everything all right, Liam?" He nodded sharply, his voice tight. "I'm okay." Natalie's hand crept up, fingers brushing the edge of his pants, igniting a spark. Liam's breath caught, heat flooding his cheeks as he shifted in his seat. Marissa, unaware of the chaos around her, kept eating, lost in her meal. Natalie's eyes darted to Liam, a sly smile playing on her lips. She leaned in, her voice gentle yet tinged with laughter. "Text, you seem a bit on edge tonight," she remarked, her voice light and unassuming. Liam's jaw clenched as he eyed her with caution. "I'm fine," he said, voice tight. Natalie's hand hesitated, then withdrew. She faced Marissa, her expression steady. "Marissa, how was work today?" Marissa sighed and began recounting her day, oblivious to the tension brewing around her. After dinner, they all vanished into their rooms. The refrigerator's faint hum pierced the night's silence. Liam lay on his back, sheets twisted around him, the day's weight suffocating like a heavy blanket. The door creaked, a quiet protest, and he snapped his head around. Natalie lingered in the doorway, her silhouette softly illuminated by the hallway's dim light. Her nightshirt, delicate and smooth, embraced her like moonlight, moving with each breath. Her hair fell wildly over her shoulders, and her smile held a blend of mischief and shadows. "Hey," she whispered, her voice a gentle secret. Liam blinked, his mind reeling at the sight of her. "Why are you here?" She entered, the door clicking shut with finality. She couldn't sleep, tilting her head as if it were perfectly normal. "I knew you couldn't either." He gazed at her, throat tight. "I'm okay." Her laughter, a gentle breath, thickened the air around us. "Of course you are," she said, her voice laced with mockery. She approached quietly, her bare feet whispering on the carpet, and perched on the edge of his bed, the mattress sinking beneath her presence. Liam's heart raced in his ears. "Natalie." "Relax," she whispered, her hand gliding over his arm, soothing him like a frightened creature. "I just need your help to relax, that's it." Before he could protest, she settled onto the bed next to him, her body extending with purposeful hesitation. She moved, her leg grazing his, and Liam's breath caught. Her skin's warmth pierced the fabric of his shirt, igniting a response in him that defied reason. She turned her head, eyes meeting his. "You're so tense," she whispered, her voice a gentle caress. "I'll make it right." Her hand found his chest, fingers softly mapping the fabric of his shirt. Liam's heart raced, his thoughts swirling chaotically. "Natalie," he began, his voice trembling. Her gaze silenced him, challenging any protest. Her fingers dipped beneath the waistband of his boxers, and Liam's world shrank to the sensation of her touch. Her touch was steady, her movements intentional, as if she had mastered this countless times. Liam's jaw tightened, hands clutching the sheets for support. "Improved?" she asked, her voice airy, yet her eyes weighed down. He remained silent, trapped in his own words. His body was a tight coil, every nerve igniting at her touch. Natalie's breath brushed his ear, warm and intimate. "Let go," she whispered, her voice gentle yet powerful. Liam lost control, his body tensed, breath hitching as he reached his peak. She moved steadily, unhurried. Her touch steadied him, leading him through the storm, until he fell back onto the mattress, breathless. Natalie sat up, her hand slipping away. Her smile curled at the edges, twisting Liam's stomach in a whirlwind of emotions. "Sleep well," she whispered, her voice a soothing melody. She stood, the nightshirt brushing softly against her skin, and moved toward the door. She stopped, looking back at him. "Rest well, Liam." With a soft click, the door closed, plunging him into solitude and shadows. Breakfast sparked the idea of heading to the summer house. Natalie sat at the kitchen table, toast in one hand, phone in the other, and looked up at Marissa. "What should we do today?" she asked, her voice playful, eyes glinting with mischief. Marissa leaned against the counter, coffee mug in hand, eyebrow raised. What is that? Natalie's smile lit up the room. Let's escape to the summer house. It's been ages since our last visit, and today is perfect for the pool. Marissa paused, her eyes on Liam, who sat silently at the table, his cereal still waiting. I'm unsure. I have so much to catch up on. Natalie sighed in exasperation. Let's go, Marissa. When did you last take a break for yourself? Work has consumed you for weeks. This is essential. Everyone does. Liam fidgeted, eyes locked on the table. I'm okay here, he whispered. Natalie's smile grew as she turned to him. Liam, you're coming too. Enough said. It will be exciting. Marissa sighed, placing her coffee mug on the table. Okay, fine. We're not staying the night. Only a day away. Natalie clapped her hands, bursting with excitement. Flawless. I'll handle the cooler. 1 hour later, they hit the road, the summer house just moments ahead. The journey was silent, thick with unspoken tension. Natalie sat quietly, lost in her phone, her soft hum blending with the radio's melody. Marissa gripped the steering wheel, eyes locked on the road ahead. Liam sat in the back seat, headphones on, staring blankly at the rushing trees outside. The summer house stood just as Marissa remembered, evoking a rush of emotions. A charming cottage with a welcoming porch and a shimmering pool under the bright sun. Warm air enveloped her, pine and fresh earth igniting her senses. Natalie burst out of the car, her energy electric. She snatched the cooler from the trunk and rushed to the pool, her laughter echoing as her toes touched the water. Marissa trailed behind, burdened by a bag of towels and sunscreen. She laid a towel on a lounge chair, basking in the sun's warmth. This is nice, she whispered, her voice tender. Exactly what we needed. Liam stood by the car, hands buried deep in his pockets. I'll just hang out here, he said, uncertainty lacing his voice. Natalie's eyes flicked to him, a sly smile playing on her lips. Liam, don't just sit there. Let's go. He shrugged, eyes darting to the pool. Perhaps another time. Natalie emerged from the pool, water cascading from her vibrant red bikini as she approached him. She took a towel, each movement measured, her eyes fixed on his face. You should get in, she said, her voice airy, yet her gaze pierced through. The water is blissful. Liam sighed, disbelief washing over him. I'm okay. Natalie shrugged, letting the towel slip from her fingers to the pool's edge. Do what you want. She leaned in, her skin grazing his as she grabbed the sunscreen from the table. Her cool skin, wet from the water, sent a jolt through Liam. Can you assist me with this? She extended the bottle to Marissa. Marissa grabbed it, her eyes narrowing at the label. Absolutely. She poured lotion into her hands and gently massaged it onto Natalie's shoulders. Natalie tilted her head, eyes closed, as Marissa massaged the lotion into her skin. Thank you, she whispered. Marissa smiled, her hands gently gliding down Natalie's back. All good. Natalie's eyes shot open, meeting Liam's intense stare. You should help too, she said, playful yet piercing. Liam's heart raced. Natalie laughed, her voice a light, melodic echo of joy. Liam, just open up. Marissa looked back and forth, her brow tightening. Watch out for her, she laughed, but her gaze was piercing. She's a storm. Natalie's smile was unwavering, locked onto Liam. Isn't trouble just more exciting? Marissa applied the sunscreen and passed the bottle to Natalie. Here it is. Ready to go. Natalie's smile grew as she turned back to Liam with the bottle in hand. It's your moment. Liam shook his head, heart pounding. I'm okay, thank you. Natalie chuckled, placing the bottle aside. Do what you want. She approached the pool's edge, each movement measured and intentional. She looked back, a sly smile creeping across her face. Since we're family, maybe it's time to be all in. Marissa arched an eyebrow. What are you saying? Natalie's fingers deftly unhooked the clasp of her bikini top. What's the point of a swimsuit? We are all grown-ups. Marissa gasped as Natalie let the top fall, her skin shimmering in the sunlight. Liam's breath hitched, his eyes flickering away as warmth surged in his cheeks. Natalie's laughter rang out, bright and free. "Calm down, Liam," she teased, a playful glint in her eyes. "It's merely skin." Marissa looked at her sister, caught between disbelief and laughter. "You're unbelievable," she said, shaking her head. Natalie beamed, arms reaching high. "Don't let shyness hold you back." Marissa paused briefly, then confidently shed her top, each movement purposeful. "If you can't beat him, join him," she said, her tone playful, yet her smile betrayed a hint of uncertainty. Liam's eyes widened, darting between the two women. He felt as if he had entered a realm where nothing was forbidden and every dream could come true. Natalie burst into laughter, hands clapping joyfully. "That's the spirit," she said, her eyes gleaming with mischief. Sunlight and laughter filled the afternoon, but an unspoken tension lingered just below. Liam struggled to concentrate on the water, the sun's warmth on his skin, anything to distract him from the women beside him, their bare skin shining like polished marble. Despite his efforts, he couldn't shake the sense that everything had changed, that their connection had transformed in an irreversible way. The evening air was heavy with the aroma of grilled food and a hint of chlorine from the pool. They gathered at the outdoor table, citronella candles flickering, casting a warm glow on their faces. Dinner was silent, broken only by the soft clink of cutlery on plates. Liam hunched his shoulders, eyes flickering between Marissa and Natalie, tension thick in the air. Natalie, the provocateur, reclined in her chair, wine glass in hand. "Do you remember our childhood, Marissa?" she asked, her voice airy, yet her gaze pierced through. "You were always the one they wanted." Marissa's laughter rang out, but it felt hollow. "You had them completely under your control." Natalie's smirk cut through the air as her eyes darted to Liam. "Perhaps. You were the one who shattered hearts back then." Liam fidgeted, the fork clattering on his plate. "Please, let's avoid this topic." Natalie turned away, her smile growing brighter. "Why not take the leap? Reminiscing brings joy." Marissa shot a worried look at Liam. "Let's move on, Natalie. You're causing him distress." Natalie shrugged and sipped her wine. "Okay, let's play a game. Let's brighten the atmosphere." Liam's gaze sharpened. "What type of game?" Natalie's smile became mischievous. "I've never done that." "The timeless favorite." Marissa groaned, a trace of amusement lacing her tone. "Seriously, Natalie? We've outgrown our youth." Natalie teased, her tone playful. "It'll be much more captivating." Liam paused, torn between the two women. "I doubt." "Let's go, Liam." Natalie interrupted, her voice bright yet firm. "Be unforgettable." Marissa let out a deep sigh, sinking into her chair. "Okay, fine. I'm serious, Natalie. No more holding back." Natalie's grin lit up her face, eyes glinting with mischief. "Me neither." The game began simply with Natalie asking, "Never have I ever been late to work?" Marissa shot back, "Never have I ever forgotten someone's birthday." The tone changed quickly. Natalie sipped her wine, eyes fixed on Liam. "Never have I ever had a threesome," she said, her tone light, but her gaze pierced through. Marissa arched an eyebrow, eyeing Natalie intently. "Seriously, Natalie?" Natalie shrugged, her smirk growing, seeking the truth. Liam stood still, his face burning red. His silence spoke volumes. He didn't drink. Natalie's laughter rang out, bright yet tinged with mischief. "Seems you're the outsider, Liam." Marissa looked at him, surprise and curiosity flickering in her eyes. "That's it. Surprising." Liam's fists tightened beneath the table, his unease unmistakable. "Must we?" Natalie leaned in, elbows on the table, eyes fixed on his. "It's just a game, unless it means everything." Her voice faded, a sly smile creeping across her face. Liam's jaw clenched, eyes sharp with intensity. "What do you mean by unless?" Natalie's smirk grew. "Only if you're curious." Marissa's nervous laughter masked a deeper emotion in her eyes, stirring unease in Liam's stomach. "Natalie, please. Enough. You're humiliating him." Natalie leaned back in her chair, a dismissive shrug escaping her. "Okay, but it's clear who's not fully committed. Liam's face flushed, his heart raced. He longed to escape, to flee this conversation, but he was frozen, unable to move or speak. Natalie's smile warmed, yet her gaze stayed piercing. Liam, you're not as enigmatic as you believe. Liam's breath caught as he met Marissa's unreadable gaze. Natalie sipped her wine, her voice playful, yet her words pierced deep. Last night surprised me. I didn't expect you to be so remarkable. Marissa's eyes widened as she turned to Natalie. What do you mean? Natalie's smile became smug, her eyes locked onto Liam's. Just a late-night visit to his room. He's a true revelation. Liam felt a chill, his thoughts spiraling. He wanted to fight back, to refute it, but the words choked him. Marissa fixed her gaze on Natalie, concern etched on her face. What are you saying, Natalie? Natalie shrugged, her voice light, but her gaze burned with intensity. That's precisely what I meant. I visited his room last night, and it was everything I hoped for. Marissa's eyes darted to Liam, her face a blend of shock and an unsettling emotion that twisted his stomach. Is that really true? Liam's mouth dried up, his heart raced wildly. He was lost for words, unsure of how to react. Natalie's laughter rang out, bright yet tinged with mischief. Liam, don't hold back. Marissa just wants to know. Marissa's eyes narrowed, fixing on Liam with intensity. Reveal it to me. Liam gasped, his mind spinning. What is happening? Marissa's face revealed nothing, her voice unwavering. Let me see it. I need to witness it. Liam's world spun, his heart racing in his chest. He longed to refuse, to escape, yet Marissa's piercing gaze anchored him. Natalie's smile grew, her eyes glinting with playful mischief. Do it, Liam. Stop the wait. Liam stood up, hands trembling, heart racing. He was trapped in a dream or a nightmare. Marissa's eyes locked onto his, revealing a blend of curiosity and a deeper, darker instinct. Natalie reclined in her chair, a smug smile on her face, eyes shining with victory. The candles flickered, shadows dancing on the walls. Liam sat on the couch, tense, his hands clutching the cushions as if preparing for an impending storm. Natalie faced him, her hips moving to a melody only she knew. She moved slowly, deliberately, like a predator stalking its prey. Relax, Liam, she purred, her voice smooth and inviting. You're safe here. Marissa stood at the edge of the room, arms tightly crossed. Her expression blended curiosity with uncertainty. She was pulled into this moment, her shock transforming into a darker, nameless feeling. Natalie glanced at her sister, a sly smile playing on her lips. Come on, Marissa, she teased. Are you really just going to stand there? Marissa paused, her eyes darting to Liam, who seemed ready to run at any moment. Natalie, this is exciting, she said, moving in closer. It should bring joy. Release it just this once. Natalie touched Marissa's arm, and Marissa's defenses shattered. She stepped forward, hesitant at first, but as the music enveloped her, she began to sway, her body echoing Natalie's. Liam watched, breathless, heart racing. The sisters moved in unison, their bodies touching in a way that was both instinctive and taboo. Natalie's hands gripped Marissa's waist, drawing her in, and Marissa surrendered. They kissed. A lingering kiss that electrified Liam's senses. He was captivated, his thoughts spiraling as the two women he had always known changed before him. Natalie's smile radiated victory as they separated. Look. Her voice was soft yet resolute. Fear not. Marissa's cheeks burned, her breath quick and shallow, yet her eyes shone with a fierce, untamed spark. Natalie faced Liam, her actions measured and intentional as she started to unbutton her blouse. The fabric fell away, exposing a lace bralette that hugged her tightly. Marissa mirrored the action, her hands shaking as she unbuttoned her shirt. Liam's heart raced, his eyes darting between them as they stripped away their clothes, unveiling lingerie that was both bold and breathtaking. Natalie approached, her hips swaying, and knelt before him. Your turn, she whispered, her fingers grazing his jaw. Liam's breath caught, his body rigid as Natalie leaned closer, her lips grazing his. The kiss began gently, hesitant, then intensified as her hands moved to his chest. Marissa's heart raced as she moved closer, her hand gently resting on Liam's shoulder. She leaned in. Their lips met in a slow, deliberate kiss, her touch igniting a shiver down his spine. Natalie's fingers grazed the waistband of his pants, a spark igniting between them. "Let's discover what we've overlooked," she murmured, her voice a sultry whisper. Liam's fists tightened, emotions swirling within him. He longed to push them away, to end this, yet his body betrayed him, responding to their touch against his will. Natalie's fingers grazed the button of his pants, each movement slow and intentional. Marissa gasped as she pulled them down. "Wow," Marissa whispered, realizing Natalie was right. Natalie's soft laugh sparkled with mischief in her eyes. "I warned you." Liam's cheeks burned as he caught Marissa's gaze, a blend of shock and something deeper twisting his stomach. Natalie leaned in, her lips whispering against his ear. "It's your moment to shine," she whispered, her voice dripping with allure. Liam hesitated, his mind racing. He felt lost, unsure how to respond, yet the intensity in their eyes anchored him. Natalie's hand grazed his thigh, a gentle yet urgent caress. "Go on," she urged, her voice gentle yet resolute. Liam gasped, his heart racing wildly. With hesitation, he lowered his hand, trembling as he started to move. The sisters watched, eyes weighed down, breaths barely there. Natalie's smile grew, her eyes shining with victory. "There you go," she whispered, her voice gentle yet filled with approval. Marissa's cheeks burned, her chest heaving with every quick breath. She never thought she'd find herself here. Now that she was here, she was captivated. The light warmed their skin, shadows dancing with each breath. Liam's breath caught, his hand shook as he moved it slowly, the sisters' intense, unblinking gazes fixed on him. Natalie's smile held a secret, her eyes sparkled with mischief and a hint of darkness that twisted Liam's stomach. She stepped closer, each movement slow and deliberate, like a cat hunting its prey. Her bare feet whispered against the carpet, yet her presence loomed heavy in the air. She knelt before him, eyes locked, hands gently on his knees. "Don't stop," she whispered, her voice a soft caress, enveloping him in warmth. "We want to see you." Marissa paused, her eyes darting between Natalie and Liam. Her eyes flickered with uncertainty, revealing the hesitation of crossing moral boundaries. She exhaled, shoulders dropping, and stepped forward to join Natalie on the floor. Her movements lacked her sister's confidence, yet a quiet determination shone through as she knelt beside him, her hands trembling slightly as she touched Liam's thigh. Liam gasped, his body tensing at their touch. He longed to speak, to protest, but the words choked him, trapped in a web of desire and confusion. His mind swirled with shame, curiosity, and an undeniable, primal need. Natalie's fingers glided up, lightly touching his as he moved. She looked up at him, a sly smile playing on her lips. "You're doing great," she said, her voice cheerful, yet her eyes bore a weight of meaning. Marissa took Natalie's hand, her touch hesitant at first, then stronger as she followed her sister's lead. They guided him, hands overlapping, breaths mingling, drawing closer. A tidal wave of pleasure crashed over him, threatening to pull him under. Liam clutched the couch, knuckles pale, battling to hold it together. He gasped for air, his heart racing as the sisters brushed against him, their touches becoming bolder with each moment. Natalie's hand touched Marissa's, leading her, revealing the rhythm, the pressure, the timing. Marissa found her stride, her doubt melting into determination as she mirrored her sister's steps. Their lips met in a slow, deliberate kiss, a moment that spoke volumes about their deep connection. Liam gasped, his body arching as pleasure surged within him, a fire threatening to engulf him. Warmth enveloped the room, candlelight flickered, and shadows danced on the walls. The sisters flowed together, their touches a dance of teasing and intensity. Natalie's soft laughter intertwined with Marissa's encouraging whispers, creating a powerful symphony of longing. Liam's thoughts scattered, his mind a blank canvas filled only with raw sensation. Outside, nothing mattered. Only the warmth of their hands, the softness, the intoxicating rhythm of their movements filled the space. When the family arrived, it struck him like a thunderclap, leaving him breathless and trembling. The sisters exchanged a knowing smile, a silent recognition of the boundary crossed, the bond solidified in that instant. Liam slumped onto the couch, breathless, heart pounding wildly. He felt drained, his body weighed down by the aftermath. The room fell silent, only the soft flicker of candles and the gentle rustle of fabric as the sisters shifted. Natalie moved with effortless grace, commanding attention. Her hand grazed Liam's cheek, a fleeting touch filled with unspoken emotion. "Dream sweetly," she whispered, her voice gentle yet tinged with playful intrigue. Marissa paused, her eyes fixed on Liam's face. A spark ignited in her eyes, a realization she couldn't yet define. She rose slowly, each movement intentional, her face reflecting deep thought. They exited together, footsteps gentle on the carpet, the door clicking softly behind them. Liam sat on the couch, his mind racing, his body vibrating with the aftermath of what had just occurred. He sat up, muscles aching, body still resonating with echoes of pleasure. His eyes darted to the closed door of the sisters' room, a surge of unvoiced emotion pulling at him. He paused, breath hitching, then forced himself to stand. The cool floor met his bare feet as he crossed the room, each step deliberate yet shaky. His pulse raced with every step, the night's events clinging to him like a heavy shroud. He stood at the door, hand poised over the handle, torn between doubt and longing. The pull was overwhelming, the need undeniable. He turned the handle, pushed the door open, and the soft creak of the hinges sliced through the silence. The room was dim, moonlight softly illuminating the sisters in a silvery glow. In bed, they were entwined, breath steady and calm. Liam froze, heart racing, lost in uncertainty. Then Natalie stirred, her eyes fluttering open to meet his gaze. Her lips twisted into a sly smile, eyes piercing and aware. "Struggling to find rest?" she whispered, her voice smooth and soft, sending chills through him. Liam remained silent, his throat parched, words trapped inside. He stepped forward, the air charged with an electric intensity. Marissa stirred next to her sister, eyes fluttering open, surprise mingling with an unnameable shadow in her gaze. Natalie sat up, sheets falling away, her shoulders bare and skin radiant in the moonlight. Her fingers grazed his arm, a touch that was both soothing and unsettling. "Come here," she said, her voice gentle yet resolute, allowing no room for debate. Liam paused, then climbed onto the bed, each movement slow and intentional. The mattress sagged as he settled in, the sisters adjusting to welcome him. Natalie's hand found the back of his neck, fingers weaving through his hair, drawing him near. Their lips met in a gentle, teasing kiss. Marissa observed them, her gaze heavy with a weight that churned Liam's stomach. Her hand grazed his chest, hesitant at first, then bold as she leaned closer. "It's okay," she whispered softly. "We've arrived." The words shattered something within him, releasing a flood of unacknowledged emotion. He drew Marissa in, their lips connecting in a slow, intentional kiss, his fingers weaving through her hair. Natalie's lips grazed his shoulder, igniting a spark within him as she led the way. The room pulsed with their breaths, the rustle of sheets, and soft murmurs shared between them. Liam felt their hands on his skin, their warmth against him, the intoxicating rhythm of their movements. The weekend's tension ignited, consuming them all, leaving them breathless and exhausted. Liam fell back onto the mattress, breathless, heart pounding. The sisters lay beside him, breaths shallow, bodies intertwined in a blend of natural intimacy and forbidden desire. For a long moment, silence enveloped them, thick with the gravity of their actions. Liam gazed at the ceiling, his thoughts swirling, his body alive with lingering pleasure. Natalie glanced at him, a sly smile playing on her lips. "Improved?" she whispered, her voice soft and playful. Liam remained silent, his eyes darting to Marissa, who observed him with a mysterious look. A spark ignited in her eyes, a realization of the unnamed.